I'm going to start out in the top left-hand corner here in the semi-finals of the WardiTV Winter Championship Europe. It is the Red Protoss player from Storm Gaming. Give it up if you're cheering on MaxPax. He takes on the blue Terran player in the bottom right-hand corner from Team Liquid, Clem. Alright, well, it's a best of 5. It feels like MaxPax just came out of a chore of a series. That one against Special was definitely not easy. Meanwhile, Clem won his 2-0 against Forjumi in the same time it took MaxPax to win the first game, or to lose the first game against Special. So, I mean, MaxPax more warmed up, Clem more well-rested. Take it whichever way you want. This SCV took the long way around because he wants to engineer and bay block, and that's how Clem will begin this series, dropping that engineer and bay down on the natural. Seeing lots of love in the chat for the players, which is awesome, guys. Let's keep it going. And let's hear who you guys are cheering on in this best of 5. Angry Baby cheering on MaxPax. So is Schmidverd. Jar Jar Binks. Liquid Clam. Let's go. Keep it going, guys. Let's see who you guys are cheering. And of course, just in case you watch this one on the YouTube, because MaxPax and Clem usually make for pretty good YouTube games, do consider supporting the YouTube by subscribing and liking the video. Always greatly appreciated, as well as Clem is going to lose an SCV to a probe. You don't see that one every day. And that's a probe going down an SCV going down real early. Probe comes out the victor on the other side of the map as the engineering bay is cancelled, and we will have the Nexus now built and the command center going down for Clem. A little bit of a hectic start in the end. This Nexus definitely isn't as far along as it would usually be, and the CC is a little bit closer to it, so Clem will be pretty happy with that to get going. MaxPax says Backspace 101, continue to cheer. Hell yeah, guys. I appreciate it. I always like hearing who you guys are cheering for and so on. Instead of just, I know a lot of you guys cheer with your channel points nowadays by your little bets and stuff, but it's nice to see you guys talking in the Twitch chat as well. I tell you what, this last week, I've been casting, and there's been like 10 minutes at a time when people haven't just said basically nothing, and it's like 10 minutes. There's like 1,000 people in the stream, and it's just like, shh, don't speak. Every time you speak, a Protoss player learns to cannon rush or something. It's like, no, guys, it's just a myth. That doesn't actually happen. Everyone looks at me like, are you sure we're safe to talk? So don't shh. You guys talk up. You guys speak it up, okay? There's no cannon rushes happening just because you're chatting. Promise you. Twilight Council builds from MaxPax. That's his opening. Not too weird. We'll see if he goes DTs. I think he does like blink on this map a lot. There's a lot of space to blink into the main base with, so sometimes he even plays 4-gate blink on this map. MaxPax used to be a big advocate for 4-gate blink as well, and he still does it, but he doesn't do it anywhere near as much as he used to do it. He used to do it a whole lot more, like a whole lot more. So, definitely a little bit of a difference maker there, as we just see the Reaper grenade popping a few probes around, and the Stalker continue to hit that Reaper, and that Reaper is going to get shoved out into the center. My shot gets dodged by the Adept Shade. Good micro from MaxPax. Has that timing down, but the Marines going to have the surrounds. Now these Adepts in trouble. One goes down, the other probably shades away in time. Oh, gets an SCV as he goes as well. That was a nice little additional touch at the end. Now it's maybe not quite as bad. The Reaper does get the Adept in the end, so that's a nice chase down with the Reaper making use of it. And I told about 4-gate blink. Well, there's your 3 extra gateways. And last time I did the math, 3 plus 1 equals 4. 4 gates plus blink equals 4-gate blink. Boom. I know. I'm not trying to show off, guys. I promise. It's just it's just hard not to. And you can do math like that on the stream, right? So yeah, 4 gateways of blink coming up at the moment, as we do just have our couple of barracks coming through from Clem. So he went factory starport, but pretty quick into barracks 2 and 3. He's not been too over kind of crazy on, those kind of factory and starport production. 2 Widow Mines, a medevac, and now into a tank. Gets the barracks on the way and, does that before getting anything else going on the starport, basically. Just got our 2 Widow Mines. Not going to get a chance to go just yet, but with this being 4-gate blink and there not being a 3rd base, obviously Clem kind of looks at this and says, well, I'll just wait. Because either you're going to have to leave units behind to deal with this, and 2 Widow Mines aren't going to change 4-gate blink back at home. So either you kind of deal with this, or you kind of just go across the map, and then I will actually be able to get in and do some damage. So that's going to be the plan here for the moment, and honestly looks as though it should go kind of alright without too much issue. Extra Stalkers continue to warp in, and all those Stalkers joining up together. Gonna have the chance to blink up into this main base and get that started. So, a few Stalkers up into the main already. First Marine already going down. Tank fire from a far way off was starting to strike. Not doing too much just yet, as Marines will take some hits. Just gonna be seeing the Widow Mine drop coming in now. Actually gets past the 2 Stalker defense. Oh, that's a disaster. 3 probes, and the Stalkers get splashed onto. 1 Widow Mine in the main as well, and MaxPax over here is apparently too busy looking elsewhere, and that means 6 more probes go down. And that is a little bit painful. That's damage that is adding up right now. 9 probes dead, and Clem putting himself onto a great start here. Just striking when MaxPax is not paying the right amount of attention, unfortunately. These extra Stalkers continuing to warp in. I'm just going to be seeing our Stalkers getting ready to go. We did kill a medevac that's coming back home. That kind of did fly just straight through the center of the map. Didn't try and get fancy, save the Widow Mine in the main base or anything. Just brought it back. Was obviously focused on defending as we are going to blink on top of the tank here. Well, a couple of Marauders out. We're close to having Stim, but we're not ready yet. At least the bunker will hold. That's the main thing. You're still going to have a point of defense in this main base, so that's definitely a big deal. Having that point of defense goes a long way. Extra Stalkers warp in. They're going to move down to the bottom, and we'll blink into the main. I don't think I like it. If I'm Clem, I almost want to let that observer let him blink into the main, because Stim's about to be done, so then you would have just stimmed onto that army. You have a tank there as well. I actually don't really mind it at all. But I mean, it's also, what if he doesn't blink and pulls the observer back, right? I think you just take the observer while you get it. I mean, here's me being fancy thinking everyone's just going to play like a robot, but MaxPax might have realized, hey, there's units there. I'm not going to blink, so in that case, Clem may as well take the observer, right? SCVs went on repair there, so that is going to be a dead bunker as we get a force field on the ramp. The Bayous are already here, are actually going to do okay because the flank is there as well. That drop we saw load up actually comes in from the other side, and now these Stalkers are going to have to blink and Prism Micro their hearts out to try and stay in this, but they just don't trade well against this amount of Marauders, and you can just see that no amount of Micro, unless you were maybe Alpha Star, was going to save these Stalkers here. These Marauders were able to do this beautifully, and now Clem is blinking his Marauders into Medevacs because he's like, well, that looks fun with the Prism. Let me deal with the Medevacs and the Marauders. GG, bit of Micro on either side to show off in this game. And in the end, it's Clem that comes out the victor of Curious Minds to start this series to a 1-0 lead. Top left-hand corner, our red Protoss player from Psystorm Gaming. Give it up if you're cheering on MaxPax. Down a game, as there is an early SCV on the map yet again from the blue Terran, bottom right, trying to be cheeky. We will see what the exact plan is, an engineering bay block or a proxy. A lot of the time it's an engineering bay block with this guy, but it's a very early SCV, so it might be something else, as he's actually gonna, oh my goodness, not see the pylon on the gold from his opponent. It's Clem in the bottom right, and he's gonna proxy versus a gold base opening. Wow, that's kind of something special, isn't it? Are these games on the new patch? Yes, these games are live, and the patch is live, which means that they are on the new patch. Absolutely. So Barracks going down, Gateway coming up, and, well, are we going to end up expanding to the gold? I mean, obviously the Gateway is here, so it's a forward Gateway. Well, it definitely makes this a very weird scenario, because they're kind of, in the end, going to be working around each other, right? I mean, that definitely creates a little bit of a complex scenario more than anything else. So that's kind of intriguing. I'm interested as to how we continue here, as we just have the probe of MaxPax making its way over. I mean, he doesn't know, right? Because he's not scouted across the map, so he doesn't know about anything else. Clem doesn't know because he's not scouted in the base, and like I said, it's going to get real weird real quick. This is the MaxPax build? I don't think so. I mean, kind of, but not really, because he's going to expand at the gold, which is where the gateway is. So, like, in a way, yes, because the MaxPax is just basically building a proxy gate and expanding. It depends if you want to count this as a proxy gate, because he's expanding to the gold. So, in a way, yeah, because he's going to Corona boost out the Zealots, but, like, it's not super proxied the gateway. So, yeah, kind of an odd one, as the Reaper here is actually going to come through, find this pylon, and is just going to start clipping on it. Clem has a full wall off back at home. He'll build a bunker, although he's got no units there. I guess he can put the Reaper in if it comes back. And he's building a factory, as he's now going to bunker up over here as well. Obviously, he sees everything that's going on, just sees, hey, no point defending or fighting this main base. I'd rather just fight over here. So bunkers this up. Stalker's on the way out to try and help deal with it. And that's the current state of game right now. Gonna see a second Reaper. We're actually gonna go after the pylon because the SCV is gonna take the attention of the Stalker initially, and he doesn't finish the pylon, which I feel like is kind of wild. He's gonna do it now, and he will get away. Cancels the bunker, forced a battery, and oh wow, he actually didn't build the pylon. He really believed he was gonna defend it. Oh, the Zealot got let in over here apparently. The Helene will clean that up. 3 SCVs end up going down, so there is some damage dealt there on the side of MaxPax, so that's a little positive at the very least. It's just a little bit wild across the map right now, isn't it? It's getting a little bit crazy. Probes will transfer to the gold base via recall, so they get to recall over, and that obviously just skips a little bit of moving time, so deems it worth the 50 energy is obviously really nice to have the battery on this base. It's obviously really good to have kept that investment. Completely worthwhile. And now 3 Reapers and 2 Hellions, though. I mean, they're enough to work their way through a battery. And that's the kind of the funny thing, especially if they're like on probes and the probes are taking that splash damage of Hellions. Battery energy will disappear quickly, so then it's a question of super batterying to try and save the day. And well, let's see what happens as the Stalker gets in position over here. We are just going to start going for some probes, guys. We actually have one-shot potential if everything shoots at once. As we just work our way through, we see battery now out of energy. Do we not have... Oh no, he used a chrono boost. He doesn't actually have energy for the super battery, because I think he just used... Because he used the recall and now he's chrono boosting the Stargate. Okay, he just gets it now, but that's the reason he didn't pop it any sooner. Obviously, popping it sooner would have saved him a couple of workers, which would have been nice, but alas. Well, yeah, saving some workers is always nice, but yeah, obviously just not there, not ready. Oracle is out at least, and that will go across the map, where the defense is already a Cyclone, so I don't feel like this Oracle is going to get much done either. Feels like Clem is having a pretty fantastic time at the moment. I mean, really feels like he's just in a great spot here in this game number 2. Oracle dives in. SCV will take a few shots of damage. Cyclone gets a lock on to the Oracle and pushes it away up that top side of the map. A couple Stalkers still coming through, and they're going to try and make a difference as Cyclone is pushed back up the ramp as well. Bunker not ready here yet, and to be fair, there's not a lot of units. The Phoenix going to lift the Cyclone. SCVs will not even try and repair it, so that does give the Oracle a better chance now. But the bunker's done. With the bunker being done, these units get inside, and then you can't really do much else with a push at the front. That kind of depends on what else is going on. I don't think anything else really comes of this, actually. Turret's going to finish up on the main base mineral line. So you defended from the Oracle there, at least for the most part. Let's drop a little Revelation down as the Marines are there to push the Oracle back. Just not letting anything happen, basically, is the plan right now. Well, 2 Phoenix and the Oracle sit there together. Just going to be seeing the charge on the way up. The extra Forge as well. Just getting ready for the next stage of this game. Obviously, MaxPax is working off a gold base, which is nice. That is a bonus. The main thing to worry about now is maybe just the fact that this is a lot of bio, and it's not a lot of Protoss. Like, there's a couple of Gateway units, but that's about it. It's mostly Stargate units, and I'm not sure if they're necessarily enough to shut this down. But you've got the power of a goal behind you, so if the warp-ins continue through now, you've got 2 gates, you better have 2 more. That definitely goes a long way. We'll see what Clem can do as he presses forward. He does have Stim, of course, and that means that the first little fight that he takes is going to be pretty deadly pretty quickly. Tank not in range of a battery, and we will actually kill this battery. No attempt to save it. That's the only... Ooh, does this pylon in the back reach that other battery? That's my new question. These tanks are just going to move forward. The Phoenix want to jump on the tanks. If they can force a Stim from the Marines, that's great, but I mean... This wasn't really forcing a Stim. Like, yes, you get a Stim out of it, but you actually lose a couple of Phoenix. So when I said forcing a Stim, I kind of meant make the Marines want a Stim to protect, but in reality, they kind of just back up and nothing happens. I should have said really waste a Stim on the Marines. Like, yes, they forced it, but I think what he wanted to do was to try and waste one. In this case, it was absolutely a great Stim. He got a lot of value out of it, and so Clem is not worried about that at all. It was a good choice. It was a good decision. He made the most of it. Extra Zealots continue to warp in as we just have the Phoenix. Oh, in the center, one of them taking a whole bunch of damage. Right, the Zealot's going around a counterattack already. That's something that Clem might not be thinking of, right? Because he feels like he's got all the pressure going in his favor. Can MaxPax really spare units to, think about counterattacking? Well, yeah, he can, and it's going to force Clem to respond now. He doesn't really have much of anything over here to help with this right now, so yeah. He's going to slow Clem down a lot. He's going to lose a good few SCVs in an attempt to hold this off. Widow Mines are going to burrow. What are they going to blow up on? He kind of splits the SCVs away from the potential splash damage. Over here, Clem kind of stimmed forward, but now he's going to get cleaned down. MaxPax is going to come forward with these Phoenix, lift those up into the sky. Those tanks will be going down. These Marines are just going to get chased, and this army of Clem just not really strong enough toward the end here. I feel like it was at the point where it kind of needed that medevac support, which was on its way, but it got held up, helping to deal with the counterattack. And MaxPax takes a very easy cleanup and puts himself into grand position now in Game 2. It felt like the opening of this game was great for Clem, but it definitely got into a bit of a weirder scenario, and towards the very end here, it definitely felt as though, yeah, MaxPax's army just looks way better. Like, it hit its power spike before Clem's army hit his own power spike, and that's obviously a pretty major problem. And really obviously took advantage of it as well, as the Widow Mine here goes down. Another Widow Mine shot going off. Zealot still chasing down units into the main base. Phoenix coming through. The medevac is going to get chopped down. GG's from Clem, and Game 2 is MaxPax's. We've got a series on our hand as it goes 1-1 right now. Stuff they know and stuff they've realized, but at the end of the day, not everyone knows everything and not everyone understands everything properly, and sometimes people say things which are a bit silly to us, or to some people, or to other people, because, well, what they're saying is silly, because when you know everything, it kind of reads silly, but they just base it off what they know, which is okay. That's why we just don't have balanced talks, because, then people start arguing, because some people know what they're talking about, and some people don't. So yeah, we just don't balance talk, and then we're all good, right? That's how we fix it. The worst part is, though, when people start balance talking, and I want to get involved, because I'm like, no, you're so wrong, and here's why, and this, and this, and this. And then I want to, like, give you, like, 5 different, I want to give you, like, 5 to 10 different examples, but then it completely derails the chat, because then some people are still like, nah, what do you know, Wardy? I'm like, well, I talked to pros about this. I'm like, well, what do the pro players know? Like, honestly, the last time I checked with a pro player, like, they didn't even win GSL, because they're not Maru. So it's like, oh, okay. And that's when you realize it's not worth having these discussions. But by then it's too late. By then I've already ruined the chat experience, because I've encouraged everyone to talk about it. So I'm doing my best to try and, be quiet and not talk about it as much, Hey, what's up, Level? How you doing? 42-month resub, appreciate it, buddy. Congrats on the new Caster League. Hell yeah. Thank you so much for mentioning it, and thank you so much for the resub. Really excited to get it underway. Again, guys, if you didn't hear, the draft and the free-for-all between the casters for the Caster Civil War will happen on the 30th of March. So we are just over a week away from a draft. Player signups have been opened for a couple of days now. I won't lie, player signups are not looking as amazing as I thought they would, but I'm going to put that down to players being lazy and not signing up yet, hoping that the signups will continue and will improve. I don't see why they wouldn't. It's a big event with a lot of prize money. Should be really fun. I'm not going to lie. I'm only worried because one of the things I didn't think about at all was player participation. I kind of assumed like most players would just take part because we're going to have a lot of money for it. So not having the players signing up, I'm kind of like, did I miss something? Did I misjudge this? Because that was not something I thought I would have to worry about at all, but it's a slight stress on my mind right now. Wardy, perhaps you have certain periods when you let chat get out their system and encourage everyone to balance wine all at once. No, because then I tell everyone to stop and then it continues for the next hour. We used to do this. We had like a channel point goal for like 10 minutes of unmodded balance wine. And a lot of it was like meme and stuff, but then people genuinely just kept going. And like it ruined the rest of the stream. It was kind of crazy. So yeah. Just you know, just trying to Basically, just trying to make the right decisions in life. I was thinking of instead of having the 75k balance line option of maybe making like 50k, but you get to, but it's basically just a redeemable like Protoss is OP or something. I was thinking about changing that for channel points, but I didn't decide yet. DT's on the way, by the way, from MaxPax as we get this up and running. So just getting this started as we do have a mule dropping down into the main mineral line. A little Widow Mine drop coming across. Going to see the Dark Shrine, so Clem will get a little bit of a heads up. Sorry, not Widow Mine drop, but a Hellion drop. You guys have me all distracted in Twitch chat. Uh-oh, this means a bunch of probes are going to go down. Only 2 so far, though. The control's been good from MaxPax up until now. Now we get 5. Now we're going to maybe get a few more. That's 7. And we lift up all 3 Hellions, so obviously they're going to have a chance to go again. We're actually going to unload and go to the Natural, where there is no defense. And Adept across the map gets surrounded. We're at 11 kills now. We're going to get another volley off for 12. And uh-oh, now the probes are starting to stack. He doesn't quite find it, but he's baiting these units just everywhere he wants them to go because now he's back in the main. DT in the main coming through, but we have an initial scan, and that's going to buy time for the first turret to get up. The DT doesn't die. I think we just raised the depots to lock the other DTs in the main base, by the way, so we killed one of them because MaxPax warped all of them into the main. So the other one couldn't get down to the Natural, and now this turret is done. It's going to be hard to imagine that this is going to go too well, as one DT will try and fight that turret. SCVs will try and repair it. Marines go down to deal with it. And is there anything left in the main base? No, but there is still a DT there, but it's not really doing that much, as 21 probes have died to 5 SCVs. And the Cyclone kind of wants to get that DT, but isn't finding it. There you go, drops the scan for it. May as well to clean it up. I mean, this was terrible for MaxPax. Down 8 workers coming out on the other end. All those DTs are gone. Oh, guess what? The Hellions are still alive. Oh my god. And he lifts up the low HP one that was about to get one-shot by a Stalker. Of course he does. Clem is very good at microing. Yeah, 24 probes and no dead Hellions versus 6 SCVs and 2 dead Dark Templar. And a dead Adept. Okay, they also killed 2 Marines. It doesn't quite equalize it though, guys. It doesn't quite make up for everything else. So definitely not ideal. Far from it. This is going to be, I mean, one Archon now. I mean, at this point, Clem's obviously in a great spot. He'll wait a little while before moving out. Against DTs, moving out can be scary because you don't always have all the scans you want. And obviously, DTs can just warp in one at a time to defend. The Archon did okay there. I mean, usually we actually are waiting for, like, a Raven to pop out in this kind of scenario. And Clem has a lot of gas. Where's the starport? Building a reactor, so he's not going to go Raven. Okay. I kind of thought he might go Raven, but I guess just going to go Reactor and then save up scans instead. It's a little bit of the riskier option. It maybe gives MaxPax a way back into the game, but we'll see what happens in the end. A double arc on it now, at least coming back through. We'll see if that can make much of a difference as the Cyclone gets some damage on the prison, but it won't fall. And yeah, double arc on, good against these Marines. Arcs on the gain, and this time it was to the higher HP Archon. Not much of a threat, and you just micro it back in the Prism to get rid of that. Now the Cyclone dives for the Prism. It's got it. Okay, well, these Archons have to recall out if they want to be able to survive this. If we kill one, we're going to go for the other one if we lose the Archons, man. They did a fair amount, but now you've got nothing else going for you. These couple Hellions, I mean, there was 3, and they got knocked down to 2 pretty quickly. This is a good defense, at least from MaxPax. This won't get too out of control. But that's just now a Terran army moving across the map with Stim. The Archons are dead. There's no counterattack potential. Prism's gone, so the micro potential is lowered in this game as well. This kind of looks as though we're going to have a Terran victory in the next few moments as Clem just loads up for the main as well. Wow, he's just going to go for it. Full send, no chill. And yeah, into the main base we head. Medevac's going to begin to unload on the ramp, and oh, he could go for the Robo there. He's going to decide to go for the main mineral line. Feels like that's the safer option, the better kind of way to deal damage right now. I don't disagree. It's almost guaranteed, like, probe damage when you go in over there. Clem surely has saved scans, no? He's not scanning yet, even though the DT is here as he continues to fight, and he'll just lift up and get out. No blink still? Yeah, no blink. He went charge on the follow-up here, so that kind of sucks. The scan dissipates, and that means that, well, this DT will continue to run around the SCV. Oh, we're going to play a game. Ring around the command center. Then he just lifts into the medevac. I feel like Clem's having some fun this series, guys. I'm not going to lie. He's had a few little medevac lifts, which have just been a little bit unnecessary and a little bit showy. Nothing wrong with that, as we will scan for this DT. Obviously, Clem just wiped out a mineral line, so the economy is not exactly looking too hot for MaxPax at the moment. One thing he maybe could have done is kill the Dark Shrine. When he was here, stim the Dark Shrine. It's risky because it's high HP, and if you don't get it, then it's a wasted, drop potential. But I think he would have had it, and I think he should have been able to tell he could have it because he really caught his opponent out of position. And just then, maybe it's like, okay, cool, now you can't warp in DTs, and DTs are an annoyance, but hey, I guess Clem also says, are they that much of an annoyance versus just wiping your mineral line? No, not really, I suppose, so maybe just me being a little bit bad at the game. Just like, no, stop warping in invisible units against me. Clem's like, it's okay. I know how to hold my scans. A little bit of a difference in level of play, I suppose, in that judgment call. Just going to be seen as Zealots trying to move forward. Bio units are going to do very well in this trade, obviously, and I mean, the Immortal's staying alive. It's putting out a lot of damage, especially when it gets to the Marauders. The Marauders take a chunk of damage off Immortal, but the battery has been overcharged. That is now gone. And so this really does just become a little bit too much from Clem, and it's going to be game. And we are going to have Clem retaking the lead of the series 2-1 in this best-of-5 semi-final. On the top right-hand side, our Red Protoss player is going to be MaxPax from Storm Gaming. Down by 1, must win this to stay in it, and to try and give us a non-TvT final. As in the bottom left, looking to set up a TvT final with Spirit. It is Team Liquid's Clem, with a 2-1 lead, 1 map to win this out and go to the finals. Hey, thank you again for Freud and Taumel for the Freud and Taumel for the 3-month resub on the Prime. Really appreciate it. I appreciate all the love today, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Even the viewership's been out of the blah blah blah. Wardy's brain broke. Out of this world. I was gonna say out of this roof, or it's like I was gonna really say through the roof, but then I started saying out of the roof, and I was like my brain broke. I was like, where do I go? How do I fix this? How do I not look stupid? It's like it's too late to not look stupid. Oh no, falter. So yeah, viewership's great today. Thanks so much for dropping by. I've had a few subs coming in, which is great. Just slowly rebuilding off of what was a quiet month for us in the build-up to Katowice and so on. So really appreciate that, guys. Help us to, obviously, like I said, keep on running these StarCraft events. So thank you so much for that. Really appreciate it. As our probe is going to go get chased away. And let's see. What else will go down? No early SCV across the map right from Clem, so no engineering bay block or anything this time around. Nothing too crazy about that. Just a little bit more plain and simple. No worries or anything. And on we go. As the build-up gets going, it's got a few moments of really getting this set up. Just gonna have our Reaper gonna go to the upper right corner of the map, so it's gonna move out over there. Reaper and the Adept gonna dance around in the Nexus, so Clem just using the Nexus as a way to kite the Adept around, put a lot of damage out. It's gonna have a shade, and it's gonna try and get something done. As we move over. I'm just going to be having the Reaper climb back down. Time for it to get out of there. Obviously, the Adept shading is a pretty good sign that it's not going to go well for you if you try and keep it going. Step continues out down the bottom. And just going to be seeing the starport coming up as well. Now, as we react out some Widow Mines post-Hellions, obviously this looks as though we're going to get a little bit of a mine drop. Quite heavily committed on this. Oh, the Adept's going to shade back here. Are we going to recall? We're just going to let the Adept die. Guys. Yeah, quite a commitment to a lot of early factory units here from Clem with that reactor being on the factory, so definitely looking for some damage or hoping for some damage, else sometimes this can get a little bit troublesome if you're not careful. Phoenix and the Oracle chasing. So far, successful to get the Reaper. But that's about it, so still waiting for something else to maybe come out of that. Over the next few moments, Hellion's going to turn back around. Phoenix lift up. Gonna put some damage out. This Hellion gets into this natural mineral line. A little bit more damage being done. Just going to be seeing the medevac, unloading a couple of Widow Mines, and they're just going to spread out a little bit. So actually just going to stay back at home defensively and try and get a little bit of a catch on some Stargate units. With the mines, I'm looking at this one, and it's got potential. Oh, you knew it. Oh, what? You know what I think he just did? I think he just didn't have the energy to lift with the Phoenix there, so he just flew and assumed it was going to get lifted and it would die when he revelated it, but the Phoenix that had the lift was the one coming across the map. So the energy wasn't on the front two Phoenix, so instead of, obviously lifting the Widow Mine didn't get lifted, and so he just flew into it. That looks really dumb in the moment. I actually think there's a pretty good answer. I think that's a fairly good explanation as to what happened. It wasn't just MaxPax being completely dumb. He genuinely thought he had the lift available right then and there because he saw it on his command card, but it was the Phoenix that wasn't in the front lines. So yeah, definitely painful, don't get me wrong, definitely a bad mistake, but, just a difference between it being like a mix-up, which is what it was, versus a, geez, what the hell are you doing sort of play. Which it very easily could have been. That was my initial reaction. I had to take a moment to think rationally and kind of figure out what he probably did. Definitely an easy one to be like, oh my god, what the hell are you doing? If you if you want to just jump on it straight away. Well, now Clem has a huge army lead coming across the map. I mean, MaxPax obviously ate that other Widow Mine shot as Clem just has to be careful about the super battery. He's got stim in a few seconds. Super battery activates already. He's too good. They actually get a little lift up on a Marine or two, so a couple kills go down. When the super battery ends, Clem's going to have a stim, and he's going to want to do something with that. He's going to stim right now. Super battery fades, so already some damage for the battery be healing up. That cannon's not going to last long. It's been locked onto this entire time. Now the battery's out of energy, and this ain't looking too pretty. We get extra Zealots warping in, but they don't have charge yet. I'm surprised the Widow Mines haven't taken a step forward. Oh, 8 probes just died elsewhere on the map. While this was happening, looks like a Widow Mine drop into the natural expansion has been successful. Not just successful, but the medevac gets out alive as well. The probes have cleaned it up. But yeah, that's where the 8 probes went down to. By looking at this fight, as was MaxPax, and major damage was done elsewhere. So Clem is going to get pushed back, but he did good damage throughout this. He traded armies. He's going to have +1 on the next fight. And he got rid of some probes as well, so he keeps that economy of his opponent down and in check. I mean, that's just like, the economy's in check, and he's just checking things off the list. As to advantages he needs to take, things he needs to be careful of, I think Clem is doing a fantastic job here right now in this game. Number 4. Fire just coming through, trying to fight. A couple of Zealots taking some damage. The sentries are out of energy as well, so that's the last of their force fields for the moment. We might have, I guess we got super battery back right now though, right? Okay, so super battery's back online. That's something at least. You can have a super battery again. Kind of need it. A cannon that's trying to build again is just not looking to have a good time. Widow Mine shot's going to be good on the Zealots. Probably didn't need the Widow Mine shot on the final Zealot there. Probably could have just stepped forward to kill it, but a little counterattack from MaxPax is going to be one way to get back into this game. I'll say the supplies have been evening out big time. I'm kind of shocked that the supplies are so even, and now Clem's medevacs are going to get hunted. Uh-oh. Obviously his reinforcements not coming across the map because of this counterattack, and MaxPax has really turned this around. Jeez, those were some really bad fights for Clem, huh? Easy to get caught up in the moment and stuff. I really thought the last couple of fights, I mean, maybe not this last one, but the one before I didn't think was so bad for Clem, but it really was. And MaxPax's supply shot up while Clem shot down. Wow, that's actually a really good moment or two of them from MaxPax. A good defense, and okay, Clem's now going to have some ghosts on the way. That's going to help his tech out, but it feels like a playable game again from MaxPax. Compared to what was feeling like he was about to lose not so long ago. So definitely a nice turnaround so far. Let's see if we can keep this up. That was a, that was not the EMP you were looking for. Do you think he saw an observer there? Even if he saw an observer, I wonder if it's worth the EMP, because you only have a couple ghosts, so your EMP energy is somewhat limited. Not sure that was intentional, honestly, at any sort of stages. Yeah, and that's a nice EMP on the Archon. Imagine he had another one. Well, he actually hits on the Phoenix. The Phoenix are going to set up some Widow Mines. They don't do too much splash, I don't think. Clem did a good job of trying to keep the Widow Mine shot away from his Marines, at least, and then he did pull back nicely. And he actually had a pretty reasonable fight there. This time around, it was definitely MaxPax's supply that plummeted compared to Clem's. Army still moving through. Just going to see a couple of force fields coming down. Widow Mine hits the Zealot as well. Zealot just taking a little bit of damage and just going to have this army still of Clem pushing up. He's got a lot of mines, and the mines are huge, but they have to go off on the Protoss units and not get dragged onto his own units, because that's when you lose games like this. I don't think he's got a new... oh, the Phoenix just got blown up. I don't think he's got a new EMP ready just yet either. It's 7 energy away, so a new EMP is obviously huge to get onto the Archons. And there it was. Super battery pops. Obviously, MaxPax knows the Archons need to be kept healthy and be brought back up to HP because they're expensive units to be losing. So that's what the super battery does, very much so for free. The Clems kept fighting during this, as he's now dropping the other side. He's going to get rid of the battery here and the energy, and obviously with no super battery, there's no kind of Hail Mary save me button for MaxPax, so that left side drop has to be responded to with units. With the cannon going down, the Widow Mines will remain there as well for a little while. Clem's unit's taking a bit of a beating over here. Low HP, but still alive. Big EMP. The sentries have no energy left. That means they are basically dead weight. Sentries don't do much, as this Archon's going to go down. The Zealots were taking too long to warp in. And even now, I'm not sure the Zealots will do too much. Clem just dropped some ghosts down over here. That's not going too well for him. Oh, this fight over here was going fine, and I think the sentries just walked into some Widow Mines. Overall, I think it's going good for Clem, but yeah. Not very much so in overall. I see a couple of ghosts trying to snipe. Phoenix moving back through as well. Army still moving back over here. Gonna get rid of another Phoenix. The battery taking some extra shots. We come re-engaging in. Just gonna see the 2-2 upgrades finishing up soon from Clem. The Colossi firing up a couple of Marines. I see a few snipes lined up to get rid of the Zealot counter. Here come the Widow Mines. They're going to be huge against the Zealot line. Do we have enough to fight the Colossus? It's pure Marines, man. Like, it feels like surely not, but we're going to stim in for it. I mean, Super Battery basically says no way. Widow Mine count's still good, and these Widow Mines have continued to deliver throughout. Repeated great shots from the Widow Mines. As the Colossi should just push this back for the moment, but overall, Clem now 4 Vikings at a time, Marauder production. All of that is going to say, don't really care about your Colossi. So the Colossi will hold, but only until the Clem's composition is improved, and that's already happening. Colossi taking down the Widow Mines. I'm just going to be seeing Clem moving up around the top. That's going to be seeing this army trying to move through. A couple of disruptors going to be popping out. As Widow Mines power up, Bio Army will continue forward, and just going to be seeing the Super Battery gets picked off. Robo Facility going to get taken down. Going to be seeing still this army of MaxPax moving through the top side. As a couple of Zealots drop down as well. EMP's continuing across. There's some extra Zealots continuing to warp in. We're going to snipe down a few of those. They try and come in, but the Colossi actually cancel the snipes. Doesn't matter. I mean, this time there's Marauders, and Marauders won't die to the Colossus. The Vikings continue through, and Clem is going to make this the TvT finals. A good fight from MaxPax, considering it felt like he was dead earlier in this game, but Clem a little bit too strong here overall.